Let the interview begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fluminense podcast. I'm here with BJ Guy, known for his puppetry work. Hi, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for your time. So I wanted to ask, what attracted you to this field of work?
Puppetry in general, actually, it was luck more than anything. No, ever since I was little, I was interested in the Muppets. I grew up with the Muppet Show. I grew up in the 70s, and that was a very strong part of my childhood, and Fraggle Rock and all that. But to be honest, I'd never considered it as a career. I grew up in Ohio. Not a lot of film industry, not a lot of TV production in Ohio.
Yeah.
And I went to school for radio and TV, TV film studies. And initially, I wanted to be a DJ. I wanted to be on the air on the radio. And I busted my butt through my first 3 years of college, and ended up doing more television work behind the scenes than I did radio work. But I found myself in a position where I needed a break. So I applied for an internship at Disney World, college program internship, to open MGM Studios. And this was back in 89. And I got accepted. And while I was down there, it was really happenstance. I was working on the backlot tour, and I ended up learning some entertainment stuff and kind of cross-utilizing into entertainment. And just by chance, I met Jane Henson one day. And it was really random. And my life fast forwarded. I mean, things just kind of went from 0 to 60 in a complete shift. One day, I'd met her. I'd met a couple other people on the crew. They were shooting, I don't remember what they were shooting. They were shooting something, and I met a few people behind the scenes. And then the next thing I know, I'm standing in the green room. Jane came by one day and said, "I want you to meet somebody," because I had just been cast for the Here Come the Muppets show, which was a live, walk around costume show.
Oh, right, nice.
Yeah, and I had been cast as Floyd. And Jane one day comes in and goes, "BJ, come with me." She walks me through the back lot and opens this door, and it was the green room for a TV special that was being shot. It was called The Muppets at Walt Disney World, that coincided with the video. And I mean, all of a sudden, I found myself in a room with Jim Henson, Frank Oz, Richard Hunt.
Wow.
Everybody, and believe me, this was not a planned thing. She takes me to the back of the room and she goes, "BJ, this is Jerry. Jerry does Floyd. Jerry, can BJ ask you a few questions about the character and stuff like that?" And I'm just kind of I'm 20 years old at the time. My jaw's trying to keep my mouth shut. And he's like, "Yeah, sure, sit down." And I sat with Jerry Nelson for, 15, 20 minutes and talked about Floyd. And then I started to meet everybody. And next thing you know, I was there almost a week, coming back every day. And they were putting puppets on me and making me practice in front of the mirror. And I ended up in a few of the shots, a couple of the songs on the show.
That's amazing.
And that was it. I mean, it was, again, not anything I think I could have ever planned. It really just kind of...
No, not a bad experience though, I suppose.
So, sorry about the rambling story there, but...
No, it's an amazing story of how you met Frank and obviously Jim Henson. So that's incredible. Obviously, a lot of people look up to them, don't they? So,
yeah, I was very lucky to have been able to start my career at that point when that original group was still around. So.
Awesome. Just a quick question. Behind you, are they all made by you or?
Yes, those are puppets from various projects in the past, different TV shows, commercials, some personal projects. I'm out in my little workshop right now, and a lot of the materials you see, it's all stuff I use.
Nice.
So yeah.
So what are some of your favorites that you've worked on?
I love a lot of the things I've been able to do. I've been very lucky. I connected with a lot of companies. I've lived all over. I started in Orlando, and then I was in New York for 5 years, and I moved to LA, and I was in LA for 15 years, and now I'm in Atlanta. But in LA, I got to work with a lot of companies like the Kyoto Brothers and Legacy Effects, and out of those came some great projects. I think were always my favorite. just because they're so fast and like kind of furious paced. It's like really down and dirty, get in, design, build, perform. And I think my favorite project performance wise was a campaign we did for Nike with Legacy Effects back, back. Yeah. And there were Kobe and LeBron puppets, and it was basically the lives of Kobe and LeBron as puppets. And that was an amazing campaign. It was, like I said, it was down and dirty, super fast paced. I think we ended up shooting about 23 different spots. And we had the puppets jumping over cars. We had them, doing solving mysteries, like like the mystery gang, like a mystery gang kind of thing, or there were all kinds of really just cool little challenges. We shot some stuff. They built a swimming pool on set, and we had the puppets in the swimming pool. I mean, all challenges. That was probably one of my favorites. And I would say secondly was when I was 40, I really got lucky and I got to live every 40-year-old guy's dream of being a rock star. I got to tour off and on for a year and a half with Beck. And that was amazing. Yeah, we did a puppet versions of the band, of Beck and the rest of his group. And we toured with them and we set up center stage. So we had a miniature version of the stage in the middle of the stage, and then miniature versions of them with instruments and costume changes and everything. We mimicked everything they did. That's and then amazing. They had a videographer shooting us, and that was the 40-foot backdrop for the stage as well. So that was pretty amazing. It took us all over the world. So
wow, sounds like you've had an amazing time.
Yeah, it was great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So
that's great to hear. It's the best thing though. If you love your job that much, then it's the best part.
Yeah. Very, very grateful, very lucky for having the opportunities I've had.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So what are you focused on at the moment?
I left LA about 3 years ago to come to Atlanta, I think to refocus on just family and take a step back. The industry's pretty draining, especially in LA. And things have evolved a lot since CG has taken over. A lot of the puppetry work is dried up. Right now, there's a resurgence of it, and I think it's more nostalgia than anything. Everyone's kind of loving practical effects. And I think it's a cycle. It'll go, and then it'll come back. So, I think I just needed a change. I needed to step away. So I came here, and I have a good friend that I started on Muppets with a long time ago. And we're developing content. We're trying to create our own shows, and not necessarily puppet based either, but there is a strong focus on practical effects and stuff on what we're doing. So that's kind of the.
Do you have any other interests? Obviously, you said visual effects and stuff, but is there anything else you'd like to pursue down the line?
Well, producing my own content, I think, is probably the big one. I do right now. I'm actually doing a lot of work in the art department. I'm working as a set dresser, and I work in set. Yeah, so I'm getting to see a side of the industry that I honestly, I think I took for granted, because when you walk onto a finished set as a performer, everything's already done.
Yeah.
And I get to see it from empty room to screen ready set, and I'm part of that. And wow, I mean, it's amazing the amount of work that goes into getting a set ready to go on camera. And it's been great. I've been very lucky with that as well. I've worked on the last Jumanji movie, and then Red Notice out. Yeah. Working on Shazam currently, Shazam 2.
Oh, not a bad list of films.
Yeah. So I've been doing okay.
Wow.
And it's a lot of fun. We go from everything from a dirty, little hotel room to a giant, massive crypt style throne room, so it's been.
So obviously you mentioned Jumanji and Red Notice, 2 films Dwayne Johnson's involved with. So do you get to meet those people, or?
I do. So with set dressers, there's 2 types. There's the regular set dressers, which are basically the kind of behind the scenes people. And then there's also on set. And usually there's one primary on set, and then there's assists. And on Jumanji 2, I was a second unit on set. So I was on quite a bit for a lot of the stunt work. So I did get to be around a lot of them. And I'm 5'9", and to be surrounded by massive people like Dwayne Johnson and his cousin. I felt like a little kid the whole time. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun. It's actually different too, because most of my career was spent on camera. Well, my arm was, at least, the puppets.
Yeah.
And to be on camera one way, but then to be behind the scenes, but in front of the camera, or well, off to the side doing stuff, you get a whole different perspective. And
yeah, of course. Yeah.
Really amazing watching different ways people approach the work. So.
No, exactly. I get that. Yeah. Do you have any biggest accomplishments or more personal accomplishments you've achieved in your time as a puppeteer or visual effects artist?
I'm kind of spoiled because, like, the ultimate goal for most puppeteers is to work for the Muppets, and they start and work that, where I kind of hit that, at the very front. And for me, to be honest with you, the biggest accomplishment is now being able to have my own style and have it recognized out there. Like we did Titans Go, where we got to do all the marionette versions of the Teen Titan characters and that, and we did an episode of that. And I like the fact that it wasn't Muppet style. I like to be able to pull away from that. And I feel like a lot of the projects now, even though there may be some influence of that Muppet style, the look is different, the style's different. And getting to the point where people have recognized things I've done without me saying anything, which is really kind of cool.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, exactly.
No.
I just want to finish on one final question, and that's: have you got any like dreams or goals you'd like to accomplish maybe in the next 10 years?
Yeah, my retirement plan. I want to move to Fiji, coconut monkeys for the tourists.
That sounds amazing.
I think ultimately right now the main goal is to get some of these projects that we're developing on the air. We have a couple feature film projects. I really love the old school B horror film, slasher film, movies. I was really lucky 2 years ago to work on a film called Willy's Wonderland. And
I love that film. Yeah, with Nick Cage.
Yes. So
yes.
I was Willy or Ozzy the Ostrich, but my primary, actually one of the characters on there. And my primary job though was I was hired here as a local. The suits were originally built in LA and brought out here, but they were pristine when they came here. So they brought me in, and one of my jobs was to age them. So I got to take these pristine costumes that had to be shot for a flashback scene, and then within a couple days transform them to look like they'd been on a murderous rampage for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So I did work and really got to just mess with them. And for me, that was a great thing. Plus the fact that I can say I got killed by Nicolas Cage. So,
that's even better, actually, because I didn't know you were involved with Willy's Wonderland, and I thought that film was excellent. So
yeah,
you guys did an amazing job on it. So
thank you. That film was great because even working on it kind of made me feel like when I first started, where it was really a family-driven environment on set. It was since it was a low budget, like everybody, you had the producers in there moving chairs and cleaning up and helping out. It was really kind of a cool thing from the big studio productions, which are very different, and that I love that intentional, like bad 80s movie feel though, like the weird lighting and the weird set dressing, and it just kind of works. So I think that's kind of a drive for a couple of our projects too, is we really like that splatterhouse, just unnecessary gore, and
they're the best type in many ways because they just are.
Yeah.
Yep. Just a quick question about Willy's Wonderland. Obviously, because Nick Cage doesn't speak during the film. Did he speak when you weren't filming, or did he keep in character?
Oh no, he was great. I mean, the character for him, just from the little conversations around when we were off set or when he was talking to people, I think it seems that he really loves these smaller projects because they're passion projects for him. He gets in there and they're like, I think maybe the character is what really seems to draw him in. He's like, the opportunity to do a character that doesn't speak and still create a full-on character. That's a huge challenge for any actor,
Oh, of course. Yeah.
No, but he did speak, and I got to learn a lot about. I didn't realize how big of a comic fan and Godzilla fan and everything else he was.
Oh,
until
really?
after.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Always good to
Yeah.
learn something new about people when you talk to them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the chat. It's been great talking to you.
Sure. Thank you. No, my pleasure. And yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Maybe we'll chat down the line once a few more of your projects get released.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll definitely keep you in the loop, and we're getting closer and closer every day on them. So
Awesome.
Got to get over that hill. So
I look forward to seeing whatever you produce. So
thank you very much.
Awesome.
So,
well, enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you again for your time.
have a great one.
Yeah, see you later. Bye.